Have you ever found yourself constantly bending over backward for others, afraid of saying no, apologizing for things that don't really need an apology, or feeling drained because you're always putting everyone else's needs ahead of your own? If so, it might be time to ask yourself, am I respecting myself as much as I respect others? Self-respect isn't just about how others treat you. It's about how you treat yourself. It's about knowing your worth, setting boundaries, and standing up for what you need without guilt or hesitation. In this episode, we'll explore 11 powerful strategies to help you stop being overly accommodating, break free from toxic patterns like people-pleasing, and cultivate a stronger sense of self-respect. These aren't abstract concepts. They're practical, actionable steps you can start applying today. By learning how to set boundaries, say no without fear, and take care of your emotional well-being, you'll begin to feel more confident, assertive, and in control of your life. And most importantly, you'll start living on your own terms without constantly feeling the need to please everyone around you. If you're ready to stop being soft to everyone and start respecting yourself more, let's get started. Lesson 1. Stop being a people pleaser. Do you often find yourself saying yes to things you don't want to do, just to avoid disappointing someone? Do you prioritize everyone else's needs above your own, even when it leaves you feeling drained or resentful? If so, you might be stuck in the cycle of people-pleasing, and while it might seem like you're being kind and considerate, it's actually a habit that undermines your self-respect. People-pleasers often act out of fear. Fear of rejection, fear of conflict, or fear of not being liked. The problem is that when you constantly put others first, you start neglecting your own well-being, and over time, this leads to feelings of resentment, low self-esteem, and burnout. You teach people that your needs don't matter, and they begin to expect you to always accommodate them. The key to breaking free from this cycle is learning to value your own needs as much as you value others. This doesn't mean becoming selfish or inconsiderate. It means recognizing that your time, energy, and emotional well-being are just as important as anyone else's. By respecting your own boundaries, you send a clear message to yourself and those around you. I matter too. Here's a practical way to start. The next time someone asks you to do something that doesn't align with your priorities or makes you uncomfortable, pause before you respond. Ask yourself, am I saying yes because I genuinely want to, or because I'm afraid of how they'll react if I say no? If it's the latter, try saying no politely but firmly. For example, you can say, I'd love to help, but I can't commit to that right now. You don't owe anyone an elaborate explanation. Your time and energy are valuable, and protecting them is a form of self-respect. At first, it might feel uncomfortable to say no or to prioritize your own needs, especially if you're used to always accommodating others. But with practice, you'll notice a shift. You'll feel more confident, less resentful, and more in control of your life. You'll start to attract people who respect your boundaries rather than those who take advantage of your kindness. As Epictetus once said, no one is free who is not master of themselves. By learning to stop people-pleasing and start respecting your own needs, you take a crucial step toward becoming the master of your own life. Remember, true kindness isn't about sacrificing yourself for others. It's about giving from a place of strength, not obligation. Ask yourself today, am I respecting my own needs? Or am I constantly prioritizing others at my expense? If it's the latter, start small. Say no to one thing that doesn't serve you and notice how it feels. Over time, you'll build the strength and confidence to stand up for yourself without guilt or hesitation. Lesson 2. Cut the constant apologies. Do you catch yourself apologizing for things that don't really require an apology? Maybe you say, I'm sorry when someone bumps into you, or you apologize before asking a simple question. While apologizing is important in certain situations, over-apologizing can weaken your confidence and signal to others that you don't value yourself as much as you should. When you constantly apologize, you unintentionally send a message that you're at fault or that your presence is inconvenient. Over time, this habit can undermine your self-respect and cause others to take you less seriously. Apologizing too much also creates an internal belief that you're always in the wrong, which can erode your self-esteem and make it harder to assert yourself. Of course, genuine apologies are necessary when you've made a mistake or hurt someone, but apologizing for things that aren't your fault or for simply existing does more harm than good. Instead of saying, "I'm sorry" out of habit, start practicing assertive communication that respects both you and the person you're speaking to. Here's a simple strategy. The next time you feel the urge to apologize for something minor, pause and ask yourself, is this really something I need to apologize for, or am I just filling the silence? If it's unnecessary, try replacing "I'm sorry" with a more neutral or positive phrase. For example, instead of saying "sorry for bothering you," say "thank you for your time." Instead of "I'm sorry I'm late," say "thank you for waiting." By shifting your language, you maintain respect for the other person without diminishing your own. This small change helps you communicate confidently and reinforces your self-worth. Over-apologizing isn't just about words, it's about mindset. Start paying attention to how often you say sorry in situations where it's not needed, and remind yourself that you have a right to take up space and express your needs without guilt. Assertiveness doesn't mean being rude or dismissive. It means respecting yourself while respecting others. The Stoics believed in controlling what you can and letting go of what you can't. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events." Realize this, and you will find strength. Constantly apologizing for things outside your control only drains your energy. Instead, focus on what you can control: your words, your actions, and your attitude toward yourself. Ask yourself, am I apologizing because I've done something wrong? Or am I apologizing out of habit? If it's the latter, start practicing more assertive communication. Over time, you'll notice a shift not just in how others perceive you, but in how you perceive yourself. You'll feel more confident, more respected, and more in control of your interactions. Remember, cutting out unnecessary apologies doesn't mean ignoring your mistakes. It means valuing yourself enough to know when an apology is truly needed. By doing so, you'll strengthen your self-respect and communicate in a way that reflects your true worth. Lesson 3. Set boundaries and own your space. Have you ever said yes to something you didn't want to do just to avoid conflict or disappointing someone? Or perhaps you felt uncomfortable in a situation, but stayed silent because you didn't want to appear difficult. If so, it's likely that you need to work on setting boundaries, an essential skill for protecting your self-respect. Boundaries are the invisible lines that define what's acceptable and unacceptable in your life. They help you protect your time, energy, and emotional well-being. Without clear boundaries, you end up feeling drained, resentful, and overlooked because you're constantly giving more than you should. Setting boundaries isn't selfish, it's an act of self-respect. It shows others that you value yourself and won't tolerate behavior that compromises your well-being. One of the biggest misconceptions about setting boundaries is that it's about pushing people away or being harsh. In reality, boundaries are about mutual respect. Respecting yourself enough to communicate your needs and respecting others enough to be clear with them. Healthy boundaries create stronger, more balanced relationships because they prevent misunderstandings and resentment. Here's a simple way to start. Identify one area in your life where you feel your boundaries are being crossed. It could be at work, with friends, or even with family. Once you've identified it, think about what behavior you're uncomfortable with and how you can assert your boundary in a calm, respectful way. For example, if a colleague regularly interrupts your work with non-urgent requests, you could say, "Canty, I'm happy to help, but I need to finish this task first. Can we discuss it later?" If a friend always expects you to be available, you might say, "I care about you, but I also need time for myself. I won't always be able to say yes." At first, setting boundaries might feel awkward or even scary, especially if you're used to putting others' needs first. But over time, you'll notice something powerful. People will start to respect you more because you respect yourself. Those who genuinely care about you will appreciate your honesty, and those who don't may drift away, making room for healthier relationships. Another important aspect of setting boundaries is learning to say no without guilt. Many people fear that saying no will make them seem rude or unkind, but in reality, saying no when something doesn't serve you is an act of self-care. You don't have to explain or justify your no. Sometimes a simple, polite "I can't right now" is enough. The Stoics believed in the importance of guarding one's mind and energy. Epictetus said, "No great thing is created suddenly." By setting boundaries, you're creating space for what truly matters in your life. Whether it's personal growth, meaningful relationships, or simply peace of mind. Here's something to reflect on. Where in my life am I saying yes when I really want to say no? Choose one instance where you can start practicing boundaries this week. It might feel uncomfortable at first, but remember, setting boundaries is a skill, and like any skill, it gets easier with practice. Remember, you're not responsible for how others react to your boundaries. You're responsible for your own well-being. By setting boundaries and owning your space, you're making a powerful statement. I value myself, and I won't compromise my self-respect for the comfort of others. And that's one of the most important steps you can take toward building lasting self-respect. Lesson 4. Put your emotional needs first. How often do you find yourself prioritizing everyone else's feelings while ignoring your own? Maybe you're always there to listen to a friend's problems, but when you're struggling, you keep it to yourself because you don't want to burden others. Over time, this habit of constantly putting others first can leave you feeling drained, unfulfilled, and even resentful. The truth is, putting your emotional needs first isn't selfish. It's essential for your well-being and self-respect. Many of us are taught from a young age to put others ahead of ourselves. But when taken to the extreme, this can lead to neglecting our own emotional health. Just as you can't pour from an empty cup, you can't be truly present for others if you're constantly running on empty. Prioritizing your emotional needs allows you to recharge, maintain balance, and approach relationships from a place of strength rather than exhaustion. Putting your emotional needs first doesn't mean ignoring others. It means learning to care for yourself so you can show up as your best self. This starts with practicing self-compassion. Instead of being overly critical of yourself when things go wrong, try treating yourself with the same kindness you'd offer a close friend. If you're feeling overwhelmed, give yourself permission to take a step back and rest. Self-compassion helps you build inner resilience and reinforces the idea that your well-being matters. Another key practice is identifying what you need emotionally. This might sound simple, but many people are so focused on others that they've lost touch with their own emotional needs. Take a moment to ask yourself, what do I need right now to feel better? Am I giving myself enough time to process my emotions? Am I surrounding myself with people who support my well-being? Once you've identified your needs, it's important to communicate them clearly. For example, if you're feeling overwhelmed and need space, you might say to a friend, "I care about you, but I need some time to recharge. Let's catch up later." Communicating your needs doesn't make you weak. It shows that you respect yourself enough to honor your emotional well-being. At first, prioritizing your emotional needs might feel uncomfortable, especially if you're used to putting others first. You might worry about seeming selfish or letting people down, but remember, when you take care of your emotional health, you're not only helping yourself, you're also creating healthier, more balanced relationships. People who truly care about you will respect your need to take care of yourself, and those who don't, well, they might not deserve the energy you've been giving them. The Stoics believed in maintaining inner balance and emotional clarity. Seneca wrote, "A mind that is too busy cannot think clearly." By prioritizing your emotional needs, you create space for clarity, growth, and true self-respect. Here's a simple exercise to try. The next time you feel emotionally overwhelmed, pause and take a few deep breaths. Then write down how you're feeling and what you need in that moment. It could be as simple as taking a walk, journaling, or talking to someone you trust. This small act of tuning into your emotional needs helps you build the habit of prioritizing your well-being. Ask yourself, am I giving myself the same care and attention I offer to others? If not, it's time to start. Putting your emotional needs first isn't about being selfish. It's about respecting yourself enough to take care of your well-being. And when you do that, you'll find that you have more energy, clarity, and emotional strength to offer the world around you. Lesson 5. Don't fear rejection. Embrace it. Rejection is something most of us dread. Whether it's being turned down for a job, feeling excluded by a friend, or hearing no when asking for something important, rejection can feel personal and painful. But fearing rejection can lead to a dangerous pattern. It makes you avoid risks, stay silent when you should speak up, and constantly seek validation from others. If you want to build self-respect, you have to learn to embrace rejection instead of fearing it. Why is rejection so powerful? Because on a deep level, it triggers the fear of not being enough. If they rejected me, maybe something's wrong with me. But here's the truth. Rejection is often more about the situation or the other person than it is about you. It doesn't define your worth or your potential. In fact, learning to handle rejection with grace is one of the greatest signs of personal strength and self-respect. When you stop fearing rejection, you free yourself to live more boldly. You stop making decisions based on what others might think and start prioritizing what's best for you. This shift allows you to take more risks, say no when something doesn't align with your values, and focus on opportunities that truly matter. Here's a mindset shift to help you embrace rejection. Instead of seeing rejection as failure, start seeing it as feedback. Every rejection teaches you something. Whether it's about what doesn't work, what you need to improve, or simply that the situation wasn't right for you. For example, if you're turned down for a job, it might be an opportunity to reflect on your skills or look for a position that's a better fit. If a personal relationship ends, it might be a chance to evaluate whether it truly supported your well-being. Another way to embrace rejection is by exposing yourself to it intentionally. It might sound strange, but practicing rejection can reduce your fear of it. Try asking for small things you normally wouldn't, like asking for a discount at a store or requesting something unusual from a friend. When you practice hearing no in low-stakes situations, you build resilience and become less affected by it when it happens in more significant contexts. The Stoics believed in focusing on what's within your control. Epictetus taught that while you can't control how others respond to you, you can control how you respond to rejection. He said it's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters. By choosing to see rejection as part of life's process, you take away its power to hurt you and instead use it as fuel for growth. Here's something practical you can try. Think of one area in your life where fear of rejection is holding you back. Maybe it's asking for a promotion, sharing an idea, or expressing your feelings to someone. Challenge yourself to take that step, knowing that rejection is just one possible outcome and not the end of the story. Whether you're accepted or turned down, you'll gain confidence simply by taking action. Ask yourself, am I holding back because I'm afraid of hearing no? If the answer is yes, remind yourself that rejection isn't a reflection of your worth. It's a part of life. The more you embrace it, the more self-respect you build, because you're no longer seeking approval to validate who you are. Remember, every successful person you admire has faced rejection. What sets them apart is their willingness to keep going despite it. When you stop fearing rejection and start embracing it, you open yourself up to new possibilities, and that's where true growth and self-respect begin. Lesson 6. Build confidence one decision at a time. Confidence doesn't come from one big moment. It's built slowly through the small decisions you make every day. Each time you make a clear decision, stand by it and follow through. You're reinforcing a sense of self-respect. On the other hand, constantly doubting yourself, second-guessing your choices, or waiting for others to validate your decisions weakens your confidence and makes you dependent on external approval. Why is decision-making so closely tied to self-respect? Because when you make decisions for yourself, you're telling your mind, I trust my judgment and I'm capable of leading my own life. This internal trust is the foundation of confidence. Even when a decision doesn't lead to the desired outcome, standing by it teaches you that you can handle whatever comes your way. Many people struggle with confidence because they're afraid of making the wrong decision. But here's the truth, there's no such thing as a perfect decision. Every choice carries some level of uncertainty, and waiting for the right moment often leads to inaction. The key is to make the best decision you can with the information you have. Trust yourself and learn from the outcome. Here's how you can start building confidence through small decisions. 1. Practice making quick, low-stakes decisions. The next time you're faced with a simple choice like what to eat for lunch or how to spend your free time, make a decision quickly and stick with it. 2. Stop overthinking every outcome. Instead of agonizing over whether you're making the right choice, remind yourself that every decision is an opportunity to learn and grow. 3. Follow through on your commitments. Confidence grows when you consistently keep the promises you make to yourself. If you decide to wake up earlier or start a new habit, following through reinforces your trust in your own abilities. Another powerful way to build confidence is by celebrating small wins. Many people overlook their progress because they're too focused on big, long-term goals. But confidence isn't built on major achievements alone. It's strengthened by recognizing every small step forward. When you acknowledge your small victories, you reinforce the belief that you're capable of making progress, even in difficult situations. The Stoics emphasized the importance of action over endless deliberation. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Waste no more time arguing what a good man should be. Be one." In other words, confidence isn't something you wait to feel. It's something you cultivate by taking action, one step at a time. Here's a practical exercise. At the end of each day, write down one decision you made and followed through on, no matter how small. Reflect on how it made you feel. Over time, you'll start to see a pattern. Each small decision contributes to a growing sense of confidence and self-respect. Ask yourself, am I hesitating because I fear the outcome or because I don't trust myself? If it's the latter, start small. Make one decision today without asking for anyone else's input and stand by it. Even if the result isn't perfect, you'll feel stronger simply because you took action. Remember, confidence isn't something you're born with. It's something you build, and the best way to build it is by making small decisions, learning from them, and trusting yourself to keep moving forward. With every choice you make, you're reinforcing your self-respect and becoming the person who leads their life with clarity and confidence. Lesson 7. Communicate clearly and stand tall. Have you ever noticed how the way you communicate affects how others perceive you and how you perceive yourself? Whether it's the words you use, your tone of voice, or even your body language, clear and confident communication is a key component of self-respect. When you express yourself clearly, you send a message to both yourself and the world. I know my worth, and I'm not afraid to stand by it. Many people struggle with communication because they fear being misunderstood or judged. As a result, they downplay their opinions, soften their words, or add qualifiers like I think or maybe to avoid sounding too assertive. While this might seem polite, it often weakens the impact of your message and makes you appear unsure of yourself, even when you know exactly what you want to say. Clear communication starts with choosing your words carefully and speaking with purpose. Instead of over-explaining or apologizing unnecessarily, practice getting to the point. For example, instead of saying, "I'm sorry, but I was wondering if it might be okay if we could possibly say, can we?" or "I'd like to." The difference is subtle, but it conveys confidence and clarity. Equally important is your non-verbal communication, your posture, eye contact, and tone of voice. Even if your words are clear, slouching, avoiding eye contact, or speaking too softly can undermine your message. Standing tall, making steady eye contact, and speaking with a calm, steady tone conveys confidence and helps you feel more self-assured. Here's a practical exercise to improve your communication. The next time you're in a conversation, practice speaking slowly and deliberately. Focus on using clear, direct language and avoid adding unnecessary qualifiers. Pay attention to your posture. Stand or sit upright. Keep your shoulders back and maintain comfortable eye contact. Notice how these small changes affect both your confidence and how others respond to you. Another key to confident communication is learning to handle disagreements without losing your cool. Disagreements are inevitable, but how you respond to them shows whether you respect yourself. Instead of raising your voice or backing down, practice staying calm and sticking to your point. Use phrases like, "I see where you're coming from, but I have a different perspective." Or, "I respect your opinion, but here's how I see it." This approach shows that you're confident in your views while remaining respectful of others. The Stoics believed in maintaining composure and clarity in all interactions. Epictetus taught, "We have 2 ears and 1 mouth, so that we can listen twice as much as we speak." Clear communication isn't just about expressing yourself, it's also about listening carefully and responding thoughtfully. When you communicate with this balance, you earn the respect of others while reinforcing your own self-respect. Ask yourself, am I communicating in a way that reflects my self-worth? If not, start by making small adjustments. Speak a little more clearly, stand a little taller, and listen a little more carefully. Over time, these habits will strengthen both your communication skills and your confidence. Remember, how you communicate shapes how others treat you, but more importantly, it shapes how you feel about yourself. By learning to speak clearly, listen thoughtfully, and stand tall, you build self-respect from the inside out. Confidence in communication isn't about being loud or forceful, it's about being clear, calm, and sure of your own worth. Lesson 8. Handle conflict without losing your cool. Conflict is inevitable. It's a natural part of life, whether it's a disagreement with a colleague, a misunderstanding with a friend, or a clash of opinions with a family member. The key to self-respect isn't avoiding conflict altogether, but learning how to handle it with composure, clarity, and confidence. When you manage conflict without losing your cool, you send a powerful message to both yourself and those around you. I respect myself enough to stay calm, and I respect you enough to engage constructively. Many people fear conflict because it triggers anxiety or discomfort. This fear often leads to 2 common reactions: aggression or avoidance. Aggression, raising your voice, blaming or attacking, may feel like you're standing up for yourself, but it damages relationships and leaves you feeling drained. Avoidance, staying silent or backing down to keep the peace, might prevent immediate tension, but it often leads to unresolved issues and diminished self-respect. The healthiest approach lies somewhere in between: assertiveness without aggression. Assertiveness means expressing your needs, boundaries, or perspective clearly and respectfully without escalating the situation. It's about standing your ground while remaining calm and open to dialogue. Here's how you can practice handling conflict assertively. 1. Stay calm and breathe. When you feel tension rising, take a moment to pause and breathe deeply. This helps calm your nervous system and gives you time to gather your thoughts before reacting impulsively. 2. Focus on the issue, not the person. Instead of blaming or attacking, focus on the specific behavior or situation. For example, say, "When X happened, I felt." Instead of "you always." This keeps the conversation constructive and reduces defensiveness. 3. Use I statements. Phrasing your concerns with I statements, "Gee, I feel I need," makes it clear that you're speaking from your own perspective rather than accusing the other person. This approach encourages collaboration rather than confrontation. Another important aspect of handling conflict is managing your emotional reactions. It's natural to feel frustrated or defensive during an argument, but allowing those emotions to take control often leads to regret later. Instead, remind yourself that staying calm isn't a sign of weakness. It's a sign of strength. When you remain composed, you maintain control over yourself, which reinforces your self-respect. If the other person becomes aggressive or refuses to engage constructively, it's okay to disengage. You don't have to participate in every argument, especially when it becomes unproductive. Saying something like, "I think we need to take a break and come back to this later when we're both calmer," shows maturity and respect for both yourself and the other person. The Stoics believed that while we can't control external events, we can control how we respond to them. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." Conflict is one of those external events you can't always avoid, but how you respond is entirely within your control. Here's something to try. The next time you face a conflict, commit to staying calm and assertive. Focus on listening actively, expressing yourself clearly, and finding a resolution rather than winning the argument. After the conversation, reflect on how it went and what you can learn for the future. Over time, you'll find that handling conflict becomes less stressful, and you'll feel more confident in your ability to stand up for yourself without losing your composure. Ask yourself, am I reacting to conflict or am I responding thoughtfully? If you find yourself reacting impulsively, practice pausing and taking a breath before speaking. Remember, self-respect grows when you learn to handle difficult situations with calmness and clarity. By mastering the art of conflict management, you not only protect your self-respect, but also earn the respect of those around you. Staying calm under pressure isn't just a skill. It's a form of self-care that strengthens your confidence, reinforces your boundaries, and helps you maintain inner peace. Lesson 9. Build healthy relationships that lift you up. Take a moment to think about the people in your life. Do they support your goals, respect your boundaries, and encourage you to grow? Or do they drain your energy and make you question your worth? The truth is, the quality of your relationships plays a huge role in your self-respect. Surrounding yourself with people who uplift you rather than tear you down helps you maintain a positive mindset and reinforces your sense of worth. Healthy relationships are built on mutual respect, trust, and support. When you're in the company of people who genuinely care about you, they encourage you to be your best self while respecting your individuality. In contrast, toxic relationships, those marked by manipulation, criticism, or disrespect, erode your confidence and make it harder to respect yourself. The first step to building healthier relationships is learning to identify what's healthy and what's toxic. Healthy relationships feel balanced. You're allowed to express your feelings and set boundaries without fear of judgment. Toxic relationships, on the other hand, often leave you feeling drained, anxious, or unappreciated. Here's how you can start improving the quality of your relationships. 1. Set clear boundaries. People who care about you will respect your limits. If someone consistently disregards your boundaries, it's a sign that the relationship may not be healthy. 2. Seek reciprocity. Healthy relationships are two-way streets. If you're always the one giving, whether it's time, energy, or emotional support, it's important to ask yourself whether the other person is truly contributing to the relationship. 3. Let go of toxic connections. This can be one of the hardest steps, especially if the person has been in your life for a long time. However, walking away from relationships that no longer serve you is a powerful act of self-respect. It doesn't have to be dramatic. It can be as simple as creating distance and prioritizing your well-being. Building healthy relationships isn't just about avoiding toxic people. It's also about nurturing positive connections. Spend time with people who inspire you, who listen without judgment, and who celebrate your successes without envy. These are the kinds of relationships that uplift you and help you grow into the best version of yourself. The Stoics believed in the importance of surrounding oneself with virtuous individuals. Seneca wrote, "Associate with those who will make a better man of you. Welcome those whom you yourself can improve. The process is mutual, for men learn while they teach." This philosophy reminds us that healthy relationships aren't just about receiving support. They're also about giving it in a way that promotes mutual growth. Here's something you can do today. Make a list of the 5 people you spend the most time with. Ask yourself, do these people make me feel valued and respected? Do they encourage my growth? If the answer is yes, consider how you can deepen those connections. If the answer is no, think about what changes you can make, whether it's setting boundaries, spending less time with certain individuals, or seeking out new, more positive relationships. Ask yourself, am I surrounding myself with people who lift me up or pull me down? Remember, you have the power to choose who gets access to your energy. By prioritizing healthy relationships, you create an environment that nurtures your self-respect and helps you thrive. Ultimately, building healthy relationships is about quality, not quantity. It's better to have a few supportive, positive people in your life than a large group that drains you. Surround yourself with those who believe in you, respect your boundaries, and encourage your growth. And be that kind of person for others too. Healthy relationships aren't just good for your emotional well-being, they're essential for cultivating lasting self-respect. Lesson 10. Be your true self and keep growing. Have you ever tried to fit into someone else's expectations just to be accepted or liked? Maybe you've changed the way you talk, act, or even think, hoping to please those around you. While this might bring short-term approval over time, it chips away at your self-respect. True self-respect comes from living authentically, being who you truly are, not who others expect you to be. When you hide parts of yourself or pretend to be someone you're not, you send a subtle message to your mind: who I am isn't good enough. But the truth is, embracing your authentic self is one of the most powerful ways to build lasting confidence and self-respect. It means showing up as you are, flaws and all, and trusting that you're worthy of respect simply by being you. Being your true self doesn't mean refusing to grow. It means growing while staying true to your values and identity. Life is a journey of constant learning and self-improvement, but that growth should come from a place of self-acceptance, not self-rejection. You can strive to be better while still appreciating who you are in this moment. Here's how you can start embracing your true self. 1. Identify what matters to you. Take time to reflect on your values, passions, and beliefs. Ask yourself, am I living in a way that aligns with what's truly important to me? When you live according to your values, you feel more grounded and confident. 2. Stop seeking external validation. It's natural to want approval from others, but when your self-worth depends on it, you give away your power. Instead of asking, what will they think of me? Start asking, what do I think of myself? The only validation that truly matters. 3. Accept your imperfections. No one is perfect, and trying to be will only lead to frustration. Embrace your flaws as part of what makes you unique. Self-respect grows when you stop trying to meet impossible standards and start appreciating yourself as you are. Another important part of staying true to yourself is letting go of comparison. It's easy to look at others and feel like you're not doing enough, but comparison is a trap that only steals your joy. Instead of measuring your worth against others, focus on your own journey. Celebrate your progress, no matter how small, and keep moving forward at your own pace. The Stoics believed in the power of self-mastery and authenticity. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Waste no more time arguing about what a good man should be." This reminds us that instead of trying to fit into others' definitions of success or worth, we should focus on being true to ourselves and living according to our own principles. Here's something practical you can do. Take a few minutes to write down 3 things that make you who you are. Your strengths, values, or qualities you're proud of. Then think about one area where you might be holding back from being your true self, whether it's at work, in a relationship, or in a social setting. Challenge yourself to show up authentically in that area, even if it feels uncomfortable at first. Ask yourself, am I living as my true self, or am I trying to be someone I'm not? If you realize you've been hiding parts of yourself, don't be hard on yourself. It's something many people do, but starting today, commit to being a little more honest, a little more real, and a little more you. Remember, self-respect isn't about perfection, it's about authenticity. By embracing who you are and staying committed to your growth, you create a life that feels genuine and fulfilling. Being your true self is a lifelong journey, but with every step you strengthen your confidence, deepen your self-respect, and move closer to becoming the best version of yourself. Lesson 11. Take care of yourself like you mean it. How often do you put your own well-being at the bottom of your priority list? Maybe you're too busy taking care of others, handling work, or meeting endless demands, and by the end of the day, there's little time or energy left for yourself. But here's the truth. Self-respect starts with self-care. When you consistently take care of your physical, mental, and emotional health, you send a powerful message to yourself. I matter and my well-being is important. Many people view self-care as an indulgence, something they'll get to when they have time. But real self-care isn't about occasional pampering. It's about consistently meeting your basic needs, creating healthy routines, and nurturing yourself so you can show up fully in your life. Neglecting self-care isn't just harmful, it erodes your confidence and self-respect over time because it signals that your needs aren't worth prioritizing. Self-care can take many forms, but it's essential to focus on 3 key areas. 1. Physical care. Your body is the foundation of your well-being. Prioritizing things like proper sleep, nutritious food, regular exercise, and hydration isn't just about looking good. It's about feeling good and having the energy to live your life fully. Small habits like stretching in the morning, taking a walk, or staying hydrated throughout the day can make a big difference in how you feel and function. 2. Mental care. Mental self-care involves taking time to clear your mind, manage stress, and nurture a positive mindset. This can include practices like mindfulness, journaling, or simply unplugging from screens for a while. It also means setting boundaries with people or activities that drain your mental energy and protecting your peace. 3. Emotional care. Emotional self-care is about acknowledging your feelings and giving yourself the space to process them without judgment. It also means surrounding yourself with people who uplift you and learning to say no when something doesn't serve your well-being. Practicing self-compassion, being kind to yourself when things go wrong, is a key part of emotional self-care. Here's something important to remember. Self-care isn't selfish. It's what allows you to be your best self, both for yourself and for the people around you. You can't pour from an empty cup. When you neglect your needs, you eventually burn out, and that benefits no one. The Stoics understood the importance of caring for oneself in order to live a balanced life. Seneca wrote, "It is part of the cure to wish to be cured." In other words, taking responsibility for your well-being is the first step toward living a fulfilling life. Self-care isn't a luxury, it's a responsibility you have toward yourself. Here's a practical exercise to get started. Write down one small way you can take better care of yourself today, whether it's going to bed earlier, saying no to something that feels overwhelming, or simply taking a few minutes to breathe and relax. Then commit to doing it, no matter how busy or distracted you feel. Over time, these small acts of self-care add up, creating a stronger, healthier version of you. Ask yourself, am I taking care of myself the way I would take care of someone I love? If the answer is no, start making small changes today. Remember, respecting yourself begins with treating yourself like someone who deserves care, attention, and compassion. By taking care of yourself like you mean it, you not only boost your self-respect, but also improve every other area of your life. You'll have more energy, more clarity, and more confidence to pursue your goals and build meaningful relationships. Self-care isn't just something you do. It's an ongoing commitment to yourself, and one of the most powerful ways to show that you truly respect who you are. Self-respect isn't something you're born with. It's something you build through daily actions, decisions, and habits. Throughout this episode, we explored 11 powerful lessons to help you stop being overly accommodating, stand up for yourself, and start living a life that reflects your true worth. From learning how to say no, set boundaries, and prioritize your emotional needs, to embracing rejection, handling conflict, and building healthy relationships, each step brings you closer to becoming the confident, empowered version of yourself. Remember, self-respect isn't about being harsh or selfish. It's about knowing your value, honoring your needs, and communicating that to the world with clarity and confidence. The more you practice these habits, the more natural they'll become, and the more you'll feel in control of your life. As Marcus Aurelius once said, respect yourself above all. When you respect yourself, you don't need constant validation from others. You become your own source of strength, and that's where true confidence begins. Conscious discipline. So take what you've learned today and start applying it, one small action at a time. Over time, those small actions will create big changes. Ask yourself, what's one thing I can do today to start respecting myself more? Whether it's setting a boundary, cutting back on unnecessary apologies, or simply taking time to care for yourself. Commit to it and keep showing up for yourself every day. Thank you for listening. If you found this episode helpful, please consider liking, sharing, and subscribing for more content on personal growth, confidence, and self-respect. And as always, I'd love to hear your thoughts. What lesson resonated with you the most? As the philosopher Alain de Botton once put it, people only get truly interesting when they start to rattle the bars of their cages. But instead of breaking free from the cage of their own denial, they're staying inside it, hoping that a new face will distract them from the truth. They're avoiding the discomfort, refusing to see the value of what they lost. And that's their journey to take, not yours. Now we're moving to a new phase, the unraveling. This is when things start to break down for them and reality begins to set in. At first, they thought they could keep going as if nothing changed. But without the stability you provided, without the constant reassurance of your presence, their world starts to crack. You see, you weren't just someone who showed up. You were their anchor, their constant, the foundation they unknowingly leaned on. And now that foundation is gone and the cracks are beginning to show. It's as if they're trying to hold water in their hands, but no matter how tightly they squeeze, it slips away. At this point, they may feel like they're holding things together, but beneath the surface, there's no water. It's all coming undone. And the distractions they use to fill the void, they're starting to feel empty, meaningless. They're realizing that the world they created without you isn't as solid as they once thought. In the quiet moments, they start feeling that emptiness even more. Their friendships might start feeling hollow, or their daily routines lose their meaning. There's a sense of restlessness, a lack of focus, because they no longer have that sense of stability you brought into their life. You grounded them, even if they never appreciated it. And now they're lost, floating, trying to find their footing without that anchor. This is when they start to feel the full weight of their choices. When they're forced to confront the mess they created, their world is beginning to crumble piece by piece, and there's no distraction strong enough to keep the emptiness at bay. They start to feel as if something's missing, and that something was you. It's the quiet realization that the stability they once took for granted is gone, and they're left to face the consequences. It's easy to feel sympathy at this stage, to feel the urge to step back in and help, to be that support again. But remember, this is their journey. They need to experience this unraveling, this realization without you swooping in to save them. This is the only way they'll understand the full weight of what they lost. Stepping in now would only take away the clarity they're starting to gain. Hold on to this affirmation. I am the stability they lost, but my strength is my own. Remind yourself of this whenever you feel the urge to help them to ease their pain. They need to face this journey alone to experience the reality of their actions without the safety net you once provided. This is your time to grow, to stand tall, to become stronger than ever. We're getting closer to the heart of this journey, and the truth is about to reveal itself even more. There's still more to come as they continue to feel the weight of your absence as their world continues to crumble. So hold on, because this isn't over yet. The real understanding, the full impact of what they lost, is still waiting for them. And soon enough, they won't be able to ignore it. Stay tuned, because as they struggle in the silence, the final truths will begin to unfold, and their real feelings will come to the surface in ways they can't hide. Let's continue. Absolutely, let's bring this journey to its final stages. This is where the silence becomes a force they can no longer ignore. Imagine a life where your decisions are guided by wisdom and foresight, where you can navigate challenges with a calm and clear mind, and where your actions consistently align with your values and aspirations. This is the life that awaits you when you learn to manage your anger and enhance your judgment. It's a life where you can build stronger relationships, achieve your goals with confidence, and create a future that reflects your true potential. The next step is to embrace these practices and commit to a path of thoughtful and deliberate decision-making. As you cultivate a life guided by wisdom and thoughtful decision-making, it's crucial to acknowledge how unchecked anger can stifle your creativity and innovation. Anger can create mental blocks, hinder your ability to think outside the box, and prevent you from tapping into your full creative potential. When anger dominates your emotional landscape, it consumes a significant portion of your mental energy. This constant preoccupation with negative thoughts and feelings leaves little room for creative thinking. Creativity requires a certain level of mental freedom and flexibility, and which is hard to achieve when your mind is clouded by anger. Instead of exploring new ideas and possibilities, you find yourself stuck in a cycle of frustration and negativity. Consider how anger affects your problem-solving abilities. Creativity often involves looking at problems from different angles and finding innovative solutions. However, when you're angry, your thinking becomes rigid and narrow. You're less likely to see alternative perspectives or consider unconventional approaches. This rigidity can limit your ability to come up with creative solutions and stifle your innovation. Anger can also inhibit your willingness to take creative risks. Innovation often involves stepping outside your comfort zone and trying new things. When you're angry, your fear of failure or rejection can be heightened, making it difficult to take these necessary risks. You might find yourself sticking to safe and familiar methods, even when they aren't the most effective, simply because you're afraid of making mistakes or facing criticism. Another way anger stifles creativity is by creating a hostile internal environment. Creativity thrives in an atmosphere of curiosity, openness, and playfulness. However, anger fosters a sense of hostility and defensiveness, both towards yourself and others. This negative internal environment can suppress your creative instincts and make it difficult to explore new ideas with an open and curious mind. Anger can also affect your ability to collaborate with others, which is often essential for creative endeavors. Creative projects frequently involve teamwork and the sharing of ideas. When you're angry, it can be challenging to communicate effectively and work harmoniously with others. Your anger might cause you to reject others' ideas, dominate conversations, or create conflict, all of which can hinder the collaborative process and stifle collective creativity. To unlock your creative potential, it's important to develop strategies that help you manage anger and create a more conducive environment for innovation. One effective approach is to engage in activities that promote relaxation and reduce stress. Practices such as meditation, yoga, and deep breathing can help calm your mind and create the mental space needed for creative thinking. Another powerful technique is to immerse yourself in environments that inspire creativity. Surround yourself with stimuli that spark your imagination, whether it's spending time in nature, visiting art galleries, or reading books that challenge your thinking. These experiences can help shift your focus away from anger and towards a more open and curious mindset. Collaborating with others can also enhance your creativity. Seek out individuals who inspire you and challenge your thinking. Engage in brainstorming sessions, workshops, or creative projects that allow you to share ideas and gain new perspectives. Collaborative efforts can provide fresh insights and stimulate your creative process, helping you break free from the constraints of anger. Developing a growth mindset is another key component of fostering creativity. A growth mindset involves viewing challenges and setbacks as opportunities for learning and growth. By embracing this mindset, you can reduce the fear of failure that often accompanies creative risks. This shift in perspective allows you to approach creative endeavors with greater confidence and resilience, even in the face of obstacles. Incorporating regular periods of reflection and self-care into your routine can also support your creative process. Take time to reflect on your thoughts and emotions and identify any patterns of anger that might be hindering your creativity. Engage in activities that nourish your mind and body, such as journaling, exercise, or spending time with loved ones. These practices can help you maintain a balanced emotional state and create a fertile ground for creative thinking. Imagine a life where your creativity flows freely, where you can explore new ideas and possibilities without the constraints of anger. A life where your innovative spirit is nurtured and your creative potential is fully realized. This is the life that awaits you when you learn to manage your anger and cultivate a more open and curious mindset. It's a life where you can achieve your creative goals, collaborate effectively with others, and contribute to the world in meaningful and innovative ways. The next step is to embrace these practices and commit to a path of creativity and innovation. As you embrace your creativity and open your mind to new possibilities, it's important to consider another profound impact of unchecked anger: its potential to undermine your sense of purpose and fulfillment. Anger can cloud your vision, distract you from your goals, and prevent you from living a life aligned with your deepest values and aspirations. When anger becomes a dominant force, it can consume your thoughts and energy, leaving little room for introspection and self-discovery. This constant preoccupation with negative emotions can make it difficult to connect with your inner desires and passions. Instead of pursuing meaningful activities and goals, you might find yourself stuck in a cycle of reacting to immediate frustrations and grievances. This reactive approach to life can leave you feeling unfulfilled and disconnected from your true purpose. Consider how anger can distract you from your long-term goals. Achieving meaningful objectives requires focus, dedication, and a clear sense of direction. However, when you're frequently angry, your attention is often diverted to addressing the sources of your anger. This distraction can prevent you from making consistent progress towards your goals and undermine your sense of achievement. Instead of moving forward, you might find yourself constantly putting out fires and dealing with setbacks caused by your anger. Anger can also erode your motivation and drive. When you're consumed by negative emotions, it's hard to find the enthusiasm and energy needed to pursue your passions. This lack of motivation can lead to procrastination and a sense of stagnation where you feel stuck and unable to move forward. Over time, this can create a sense of hopelessness and resignation where you start to believe that your goals are unattainable and that your efforts are futile. Moreover, anger can create a sense of isolation and disconnection from others, which further undermines your sense of purpose. Meaningful relationships and connections are often a crucial part of feeling fulfilled and purposeful. However, anger can strain these relationships and create barriers to genuine connection. When you're isolated and disconnected, it's harder to find the support and encouragement needed to pursue your goals and live a fulfilling life. To reclaim your sense of purpose and fulfillment, it's essential to address the underlying causes of your anger and develop strategies to manage it effectively. One powerful approach is to engage in regular self-reflection and introspection. Take time to explore your values, passions, and long-term goals. Reflect on what truly matters to you and what you want to achieve in life. This self-discovery process can help you reconnect with your inner desires and create a clear vision for your future. Developing a sense of gratitude can also enhance your sense of purpose. Gratitude involves recognizing and appreciating the positive aspects of your life, even in the midst of challenges. By focusing on what you're grateful for, you can shift your perspective away from anger and towards a more positive and fulfilling outlook. Keeping a gratitude journal where you regularly write down things you're thankful for can be a powerful tool in this process. Building a supportive network of friends, family, and mentors can provide the encouragement and guidance needed to pursue your goals. Surround yourself with individuals who uplift and inspire you, and who can offer valuable insights and support. Engaging in meaningful conversations and activities with these individuals can help you stay focused and motivated even in the face of challenges. Practicing mindfulness and meditation can also help you stay grounded and connected to your purpose. Mindfulness involves paying attention to the present moment with curiosity and non-judgment. By practicing mindfulness, you can become more aware of your thoughts and emotions and learn to manage them more effectively. This awareness can help you stay focused on your goals and make decisions that align with your values and aspirations. Volunteering and giving back to your community can also enhance your sense of purpose. Helping others and making a positive impact can provide a deep sense of fulfillment and meaning. By contributing to causes that you care about, you can create a sense of connection and purpose that transcends your individual concerns and challenges. Imagine a life where you wake up each day with a clear sense of purpose and direction. A life where you're motivated and inspired to pursue your passions, and where your actions align with your deepest values and aspirations. This is the life that awaits you when you learn to manage your anger and reconnect with your sense of purpose. It's a life of fulfillment, meaning, and joy. As we come to the end of this journey, remember that anger doesn't have to control your life. By recognizing its impact and taking steps to manage it, you can reclaim your happiness, strengthen your relationships, and unlock your full potential. Embrace the tools and strategies we've discussed and start transforming your life today. Another powerful aspect of generosity is that it helps shift your focus outward. When you're caught up in your own worries, giving to others, whether it's through volunteering, mentoring, or simply being present, can help reduce anxiety and increase your sense of purpose. Generosity creates a cycle of positivity. The more you give, the more connected and fulfilled you feel. Here's something practical you can do. Each day, look for one opportunity to practice a small act of empathy or generosity. It could be as simple as listening to someone without interrupting, offering help when you see someone struggling, or even just sending a thoughtful message to someone you care about. These small acts, done consistently, build a habit of empathy and generosity that strengthens your character and enriches your relationships. Ask yourself, am I approaching my interactions with empathy, or am I focused solely on my own perspective? If you find yourself slipping into self-centered thinking, pause and try to see things from the other person's point of view. This simple shift can transform the way you relate to others and foster deeper, more meaningful connections. Remember, fostering empathy and practicing generosity isn't about grand gestures. It's about showing up with kindness and understanding in everyday moments. When you make empathy and generosity a core part of your life, you don't just improve your relationships, you cultivate a sense of purpose, fulfillment, and inner peace. In the end, what truly matters isn't how much you accumulate, but how much you contribute. By fostering empathy and practicing generosity, you create a life of connection, meaning, and lasting impact. You don't just live for yourself, you become a source of light and strength for those around you. And in doing so, you discover a deeper sense of happiness and fulfillment. Nourishing your mind and body. In a world that constantly demands your attention, energy, and effort, it's easy to neglect the most important foundation of a fulfilling life: your mind and body. We often push ourselves to the limit, prioritizing external achievements over internal well-being, only to find that without proper care, our energy fades, our focus diminishes, and our peace of mind slips away. Nourishing your mind and body isn't a luxury. It's a necessity for living a balanced, resilient, and meaningful life. When you take care of your body, you're not just enhancing your physical health, you're also supporting your mental clarity, emotional stability, and overall sense of well-being. Exercise, proper nutrition, and rest aren't just physical acts. They directly influence how you feel, think, and respond to life's challenges. Seneca once said, "A sound mind in a sound body," is a short but full description of a happy state in this world. The Stoics believed that a disciplined approach to caring for your body was essential for cultivating a strong mind. Nourishing your mind goes beyond simply consuming information. It's about feeding your mind with thoughts, ideas, and practices that promote growth and peace. This means being intentional about what you read, watch, and listen to. It means engaging in practices like mindfulness, meditation, and reflection that help calm your mind and strengthen your ability to focus. Start by asking yourself, what habits do I currently have that nourish my mind and body, and what habits might be draining me? Identifying these patterns is the first step toward creating a lifestyle that supports your well-being. For example, staying up late scrolling through social media might seem harmless, but over time it can disrupt your sleep, drain your energy, and leave your mind cluttered. On the other hand, prioritizing rest, exercise, and quiet time for reflection can have a profound impact on your mood, productivity, and resilience. One of the simplest yet most powerful ways to nourish your body is through movement. This doesn't have to mean intense workouts at the gym. It could be a morning walk, stretching, or any form of physical activity that gets your blood flowing and your energy levels up. Regular movement not only improves your physical health, but also releases endorphins, which boost your mood and reduce stress. Equally important is nutrition. The food you consume is the fuel your body and mind run on. Eating a balanced diet, rich in whole, unprocessed foods, provides your brain with the nutrients it needs to function at its best. It's not about being perfect with your diet. It's about making small, consistent choices that support your long-term health. When it comes to nourishing your mind, quiet time and reflection are key. In a world filled with constant noise and distractions, taking time each day to be still, whether through meditation, journaling, or simply sitting quietly, helps clear your mind and strengthens your ability to stay present. These moments of stillness allow you to process your thoughts, release tension, and reconnect with what truly matters. Here's something practical you can do. Each day, commit to one small act that nourishes your mind and one that nourishes your body. It could be as simple as reading a chapter of a book that inspires you, practicing deep breathing for 5 minutes, or preparing a healthy meal. Over time, these small acts compound, creating a lifestyle that supports your well-being. Ask yourself, am I treating my mind and body with the respect they deserve? If not, start today. Remember, you can't pour from an empty cup. Taking care of yourself isn't selfish. It's what allows you to show up fully in life for both yourself and those you care about. In the end, your mind and body are your most valuable assets. When you nourish them consistently, you cultivate a life of strength, clarity, and inner peace. You equip yourself to handle life's challenges with resilience and grace. By making your well-being a priority, you don't just live, you thrive. And that's when life truly becomes rich, meaningful, and deeply fulfilling. Letting go isn't about giving up. It's about creating space for something better. It's about freeing yourself from the weight of what no longer serves you, whether it's people, situations, habits, or even outdated versions of yourself. When you let go of what holds you back, you gain clarity, peace, and the ability to move forward with intention. In this episode, we explored 12 powerful lessons on how to let go and create a life of greater balance and fulfillment. From unlocking the power of detachment to nourishing your mind and body, each lesson offers a practical way to reclaim your energy and refocus on what truly matters. Life is filled with constant change, but by learning to let go with grace and strength, you empower yourself to face those changes without fear. Why does this matter? Because clinging too tightly to people, expectations, or even past versions of ourselves only leads to frustration and suffering. But when you learn to let go, you discover a deeper sense of freedom and inner peace. You stop being a prisoner to what's beyond your control and start living with greater purpose and presence. Here's something to reflect on. What is one thing I'm ready to let go of today? It doesn't have to be a grand gesture. It could be a small thought, a minor frustration, or an unnecessary habit. Every small step toward letting go creates a ripple effect, helping you cultivate a life that feels lighter, freer, and more aligned with your values. Remember, letting go is a practice, not a one-time event. It takes courage, patience, and self-compassion. But with each quiet release, you make room for growth, connection, and a life of greater joy. As Marcus Aurelius said, you have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. Did you know that some people in your life might be subtly draining your energy or causing you harm, even without you realizing it? In today's world, where toxic behaviors are often hidden behind charming facades, it's crucial to recognize the signs of truly harmful individuals. This video will explore 10 specific signs that you might be dealing with a truly evil person and how Stoic wisdom can help you protect your peace and navigate these toxic relationships. These are insights I've personally tested and integrated into my own life, and they've helped me build stronger boundaries and a more resilient mindset. Grab your journal, get comfortable, and let's dive into these transformative insights. Stick around as I'll share actionable steps and personal stories to help you spot and handle harmful people with wisdom and grace. Without further ado, let's get started and uncover the secrets to identifying truly toxic individuals and protecting your inner peace. Number 1, they take pleasure in others' failures. This behavior stems from envy and insecurity. People who take pleasure in others' failures see your success as a threat. They may think that if you rise, it somehow diminishes their own worth. It's almost as if they're keeping score, and your wins feel like points against them. Instead of celebrating your achievements, they silently root for your downfall. And sometimes they go a step further by actively sabotaging your efforts, whether it's spreading rumors, giving bad advice, or creating obstacles that make it harder for you to succeed. Focusing on what matters also means learning to filter out distractions. We live in a world where we're constantly bombarded with information and noise, whether it's through advertisements, social media, or even the opinions of others. This constant influx can make it difficult to focus on the things that are truly important to us. The Stoics understood this well, which is why they emphasized the importance of simplicity and clarity of thought. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Ask yourself at every moment, is this necessary?" This simple question helps us cut through the noise and refocus on what's essential. Consider how much time and energy we waste on things that don't really matter. Scrolling through social media, worrying about other people's opinions, or chasing after things that won't bring us lasting fulfillment. These distractions not only drain our energy, but also weaken our confidence because they pull us away from our core values. When we focus on what matters, we create a sense of direction and purpose that strengthens our self-assurance. We stop being swayed by external influences and start living according to our own internal compass. Seneca wrote extensively about the shortness of life and how important it is to focus our limited time on meaningful pursuits. In his work on the shortness of life, he reminds us that it is not that we have a short time to live, but that we waste a lot of it. This is a powerful reminder that confidence comes from using our time wisely, by focusing on what brings us closer to our goals and values, rather than on distractions that pull us away. When we learn to focus our efforts on what truly matters, we begin to live with greater intention and confidence. For example, imagine you're working toward a personal or professional goal, but you find yourself constantly distracted by things that don't serve that goal. Maybe you're worried about how others perceive you, or you're spending too much time on activities that don't contribute to your growth. The Stoic approach would be to pause and ask yourself, does this align with my values and goals? If the answer is no, it's time to let go of those distractions and refocus on what really matters. Focusing on what matters also means prioritizing your mental and emotional well-being. The Stoics believed that true happiness and confidence come from inner peace, not external success. If you're constantly chasing external validation, you'll find that your confidence is always at the mercy of others' opinions or external outcomes. But when you focus on cultivating inner peace through practices like mindfulness, self-reflection, and gratitude, you build a sense of confidence that is unshakable because it comes from within. Let's consider the practice of mindfulness, which aligns closely with Stoic teachings. Being mindful means being fully present in the moment and focusing your attention on what's happening right now, rather than being caught up in worries about the past or the future. When you practice mindfulness, you're better able to focus on what truly matters in the present moment. Whether that's a conversation with a loved one, a task at work, or simply enjoying a quiet moment of reflection. This ability to be fully present strengthens your confidence because it allows you to engage deeply with life rather than being distracted by things that don't matter. The Stoics also emphasize the importance of letting go of what doesn't matter, specifically things outside of our control. Epictetus famously taught that we should focus only on what we can control and let go of everything else. This is a powerful lesson for building confidence because it teaches us to stop worrying about external circumstances or outcomes that are beyond our control. When you stop trying to control things you can't change, you free up your energy to focus on the things you can, your actions, your thoughts, and your decisions. For instance, many people feel insecure or anxious about the future because they're trying to control things that are outside their influence, whether it's other people's opinions, the economy, or the outcomes of their efforts. The Stoics would encourage us to focus instead on what we can control, our preparation, our attitude, and how we respond to challenges. By focusing on these internal factors, we build confidence because we know that we've done our best regardless of the outcome. In conclusion, focusing on what matters is a crucial Stoic lesson for boosting confidence. When you align your focus with your values, prioritize your inner peace, and let go of distractions and things outside of your control, you create a strong foundation for self-assurance. Stoicism teaches us that confidence doesn't come from external achievements or validation. It comes from knowing that we're dedicating our time and energy to what truly matters. By practicing mindfulness, self-reflection, and simplicity, you can cultivate a deep sense of confidence and purpose that will guide you through life's challenges. Self-reflection is one of the most powerful tools we have for personal growth and for building lasting confidence. Stoicism places a strong emphasis on the practice of regular self-reflection because it helps us gain clarity about our actions, thoughts, and emotions. By reflecting on our experiences, we can learn from our mistakes, celebrate our successes, and make adjustments that align us more closely with our values and goals. The Stoic philosopher Seneca believed in the importance of daily reflection. He recommended that at the end of each day, we should take time to review our actions, asking ourselves what we did well, where we fell short, and how we can improve. This kind of reflection isn't about self-criticism or judgment. It's about learning and growing. Seneca wrote, "We should every night call ourselves to account. What infirmity have I mastered today? What passions opposed? What temptation resisted? What virtue acquired?" This practice allows us to continuously refine our character and build confidence from knowing that we are always working to become better versions of ourselves. Through self-reflection, we develop a deeper understanding of who we are, what drives us, and what areas need attention. This clarity is key to building confidence because it gives us a roadmap for personal growth. When you know where your strengths lie and where you need to improve, you can make intentional choices to work on those areas, which boosts your self-assurance. Instead of feeling lost or unsure, you're empowered with the knowledge of how to move forward. Self-reflection also helps us identify patterns in our behavior that may be holding us back. For instance, if you notice that you tend to react defensively in certain situations or avoid taking risks because of fear, you can begin to work on changing those habits. By acknowledging these patterns through reflection, you take the first step toward breaking free from them. Over time, this leads to a greater sense of control over your actions and decisions, which naturally enhances your confidence. One of the key principles of Stoic philosophy is the idea that we should focus on what's within our control and let go of everything else. Self-reflection helps us apply this principle to our daily lives by encouraging us to examine our reactions to the things that happen around us. For example, after a difficult conversation or challenging situation, you might ask yourself, how did I handle that? Did I focus on what I could control? Or did I let my emotions get the better of me? This kind of reflection helps you become more mindful of your reactions and teaches you to respond to life's challenges with greater calm and clarity. Self-reflection is not only about analyzing your actions, but also about examining your thoughts and emotions. Marcus Aurelius, in his Meditations, frequently wrote about the importance of understanding his own mind. He believed that our thoughts shape our experience of life, and that by reflecting on them, we can cultivate a mindset that aligns with our values and goals. Marcus wrote, "The happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts." By regularly reflecting on your thoughts, you can identify negative patterns such as self-doubt, fear, or judgment, and work to replace them with more constructive and empowering beliefs. For example, if you catch yourself thinking, "I'm not good enough," or "I can't handle this," self-reflection allows you to challenge these thoughts and reframe them. Instead of letting negative thoughts erode your confidence, you can reflect on past experiences where you've succeeded or overcome challenges and remind yourself that you're capable of handling whatever comes your way. This process of reframing negative thoughts is a powerful way to build resilience and self-confidence. Another benefit of self-reflection is that it helps you stay true to your values. The Stoics believed that living in accordance with your values is essential for a fulfilling and confident life. By regularly reflecting on your actions, you can ensure that you're living in alignment with your principles. This might mean asking yourself questions like, did I act with integrity today? Was I kind and just in my interactions with others? Did I stay focused on my goals, or did I get distracted by things that don't matter? This kind of reflection keeps you grounded in your values, which strengthens your confidence because you know you're living authentically. One of the most practical ways to incorporate self-reflection into your daily routine is through journaling. Keeping a journal allows you to track your thoughts, actions, and progress over time. It gives you a space to reflect on your experiences, set goals, and analyze your reactions to life's challenges. Many Stoic philosophers, including Marcus Aurelius, used journaling as a way to practice self-reflection and gain insight into their inner lives. By writing down your reflections each day, you create a record of your growth and a tool for continuous self-improvement. Let's consider an example of how self-reflection can boost confidence. Imagine you're preparing for an important presentation at work. In the days leading up to it, you feel anxious and unsure of yourself. Instead of letting those feelings undermine your confidence, you take time to reflect. You ask yourself, why am I feeling this way? What's the worst that could happen? What have I done in the past that prepared me for this? Through this process, you realize that you've successfully given presentations before and that your preparation has set you up for success. This self-reflection not only calms your nerves, but also reinforces your belief in your own abilities. In conclusion, practicing self-reflection is a crucial Stoic lesson for boosting confidence. By regularly examining your thoughts, actions, and emotions, you gain valuable insights into your strengths and weaknesses, which helps you grow and improve. Self-reflection also helps you stay aligned with your values, break negative patterns, and cultivate a mindset that fosters confidence and resilience. Through daily reflection, whether through journaling or simply taking time to think, you can build a deep sense of self-assurance that will guide you through life's challenges. Resilience is one of the most essential qualities for navigating life's challenges with confidence, and it is a central concept in Stoic philosophy. Life is full of obstacles, setbacks, and unexpected events, but how we respond to these challenges determines whether we become stronger or feel defeated. The Stoics teach us that true resilience comes from focusing on what we can control and accepting what we cannot. Epictetus reminds us, it's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters. This Stoic teaching is at the heart of resilience. While we cannot always control the circumstances we face, whether it's a personal failure, a health issue, or a difficult relationship, Epictetus reminds us, it's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters. We have complete control over how we respond. By choosing to view challenges as opportunities for growth, rather than as insurmountable problems, we build the mental and emotional strength to face adversity with confidence. Building resilience means cultivating the ability to bounce back from difficulties. It's not about avoiding pain or discomfort, but learning to endure them with grace and clarity. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way." This powerful Stoic principle teaches us that obstacles are not meant to be avoided, but embraced as part of our journey. Each challenge we face provides an opportunity to develop our resilience, grow stronger, and become more confident in our ability to handle future difficulties. Consider a common situation in which resilience is necessary: losing a job. For many, this experience can be overwhelming and lead to feelings of failure, self-doubt, and fear about the future. However, through the lens of Stoicism, losing a job can be seen not as a failure, but as an opportunity for growth and reinvention. The Stoics would advise us to focus on what we can control, our next steps, how we use our time and our mindset, rather than dwelling on the loss itself. By approaching the situation with resilience, we can turn what seems like a setback into a new beginning. Another key aspect of building resilience is accepting that life is unpredictable. The Stoics practiced premeditatio malorum, or the premeditation of evils, which involves mentally preparing for worst-case scenarios. By considering what could go wrong, Stoics were better equipped to handle challenges with composure when they arose. This practice doesn't mean dwelling on negativity, but rather acknowledging that hardships are a natural part of life. When you mentally prepare for adversity, you're less likely to be caught off guard and more likely to respond with resilience when difficulties arise. Let's take the example of someone training for a marathon. They know that along the way they will face physical fatigue, injury, or moments of doubt. Instead of fearing these obstacles, they anticipate them and develop strategies to overcome them. Whether it's through physical conditioning, mental toughness, or learning to pace themselves. This is resilience in action. By preparing for challenges and accepting them as part of the process, they build the strength to push through when things get tough. The same principle applies to life. When we build resilience by accepting that setbacks are inevitable, we gain the confidence to face them head-on. Resilience is also about maintaining a positive mindset in the face of adversity. The Stoics believed that our perception of events shapes our experience of them. Seneca said, "A man is as miserable as he thinks he is." This highlights the power of our thoughts in shaping our reality. When we view challenges as insurmountable, we feel overwhelmed and defeated. But when we see them as opportunities for growth, we approach them with a sense of purpose and resilience. By choosing to maintain a positive outlook, even in difficult times, we build the mental toughness needed to overcome adversity. In addition to mental resilience, the Stoics emphasize the importance of emotional resilience. Life's challenges can trigger a range of emotions: anger, sadness, frustration, or fear. While it's natural to feel these emotions, the Stoics teach us not to let them control our actions. Epictetus advised, "Make the best use of what is in your power and take the rest as it happens." This means focusing on what you can do and accepting what you cannot change. Emotional resilience involves acknowledging your feelings, but not allowing them to dictate your response. By practicing emotional self-control, you build the resilience to face challenges with calm and clarity. Let's consider a real-life example of resilience. Think about someone who has faced a major setback, such as a serious illness or the loss of a loved one. While these experiences are incredibly painful, those who practice resilience are able to move forward by focusing on what they can control, whether it's taking care of their health, finding support from loved ones, or adjusting to their new reality. This doesn't mean ignoring the pain, but rather accepting it as part of life's journey and using it as fuel to become stronger and more resilient. In conclusion, building resilience is a fundamental Stoic lesson for boosting confidence. Life will inevitably bring challenges, but it's how we respond to those challenges that determines our strength and growth. By focusing on what we can control, accepting adversity as part of life, and maintaining a positive mindset, we can develop the resilience needed to face difficulties with confidence. The Stoics remind us that every obstacle is an opportunity for growth, and by embracing this mindset, we can build the inner strength to handle whatever life throws our way. Embracing this journey means being open to learning, adapting, and evolving as we gain more experiences. It's about recognizing that wisdom isn't static. It deepens and expands as we continue to engage with the world and reflect on our interactions. Moreover, embracing the long-term journey aligns with the Stoic practice of focusing on what we can control and letting go of what we cannot. This isn't about resignation, but about empowerment. It frees us from the unnecessary stress of trying to control the uncontrollable and allows us to invest our energy in actions and attitudes that truly enrich our lives and the lives of those around us. In practical terms, this might mean choosing to invest time in relationships that are nurturing and supportive, pursuing careers that align with our values, or dedicating ourselves to causes that we believe in. Each choice is a brick in the foundation of a life well lived, a life that reflects our deepest convictions and highest aspirations. Thank you all for joining me today in exploring these Stoic principles. Remember, the journey is long, but each step is a chance to reinforce who we are and what we stand for. By adopting a Stoic mindset, we learn not only to withstand the trials of life, but to approach them in a way that enhances our understanding of ourselves and our capabilities. Habit 3. The power of choice. Now that we understand that our emotions stem from our judgments and not the events themselves, let's delve into the profound Stoic principle of choice. This isn't about choosing what happens to us, that's often beyond our control, but choosing our response. And believe it or not, in that choice lies our freedom and power. The Stoics teach us that between the stimulus and the response there is a space. In this space lies our power to choose our response. This idea is incredibly empowering. It means that no matter what life throws at us, we have the last say on how we respond. Whether it's a rude comment, a financial setback, or a personal loss, our emotional response is ours to choose. Think about it this way. Life is like a complex dance. Events come at us in quick succession, and our emotions can react just as quickly. But like a skilled dancer who decides which steps to take on the dance floor, we can choose how to move with, around, or away from our emotional impulses. This doesn't mean ignoring our feelings. Rather, it's about acknowledging them and deciding the best course of action that aligns with our values and long-term goals. The key to making this practical is to develop what the Stoics called prosopsis, or mindful attention. It's about being aware in the present moment, recognizing our emotional triggers as they arise, and consciously deciding how we'll respond. By practicing mindfulness, we can widen that space between stimulus and response, giving us the time to choose our actions wisely. This power of choice is what enabled Stoic philosophers like Seneca to remain tranquil in times of extreme stress. Seneca suggested that we should rehearse worst-case scenarios in our minds, not to dwell on them, but to diminish the intensity of our reactions when faced with actual challenges. By doing so, we become less reactive and more responsive. Moreover, embracing this Stoic approach helps us build resilience. Resilience doesn't come from avoiding challenges, but from facing them with clarity and determination. Every time we choose a response that keeps us aligned with our goals, we strengthen our ability to handle future challenges more effectively. Habit 4: Techniques for action over emotion. As we delve deeper into the Stoic practice, it becomes clear that knowing you have a choice isn't enough. You need effective strategies to exercise that choice wisely. Here are some time-tested techniques drawn from Stoic wisdom that can help you choose your actions over your emotions, turning potential turmoil into triumph. One pivotal technique involves the simple yet powerful act of pausing when an emotion flares up. Imagine you're in a heated discussion. Instead of immediately reacting, give yourself a moment. This pause is a buffer, giving your rational mind time to wake up and process the situation. During this brief interlude, you can assess the emotion. Is it anger? Frustration? Fear? Acknowledging what you feel can diminish its overwhelming power, allowing you to respond rather than react. Another Stoic strategy is to reframe your thoughts about the situation. This cognitive reframing involves shifting your perspective to see the event differently. If someone cuts you off in traffic, instead of getting angry and assuming malicious intent, you might consider other explanations. Perhaps they are rushing to an emergency. Changing your narrative about the event can change your emotional response to it, helping you maintain your composure and perhaps even empathize with the other person. Values-based decision-making is another cornerstone of Stoic practice. Here you make decisions based on your core values, not fleeting emotions. Ask yourself, does reacting with anger align with my values? What would the best version of myself do in this situation? By aligning your actions with your values, you ensure that your responses contribute to the person you aspire to be, rather than a momentary emotional state. Emotional acceptance is crucial too. This doesn't mean resigning yourself to feeling bad. It means accepting that you're feeling a certain way without judgment or immediate reaction. Acceptance allows you to understand your emotions better and manage them proactively. It's like observing the clouds as they pass by in the sky. Notice them, but don't get carried away by the storm. Each of these techniques isn't just about handling a particular emotional moment. They're about cultivating a life where you consistently choose actions that reflect your rational and reasoned decisions. Practicing these techniques regularly can turn them into habits, fundamentally changing how you interact with your emotions and the world. As you integrate these practices into your daily life, you'll find that not only do your emotional responses become more balanced, but your overall sense of well-being improves, allowing you to live more fully in alignment with your Stoic principles. Habit 5. Benefits of choosing actions over emotions. When we choose our actions consciously, aligning them with rational thought rather than fleeting emotions, we cultivate an inner stability that is apparent to those around us. This stability makes us more reliable and trustworthy. In personal relationships, this can deepen bonds as loved ones see us as pillars of strength, capable of supporting them emotionally rather than reacting impulsively to stressful situations. It means that in times of conflict or tension, instead of escalating the situation with emotional reactions, we contribute to resolving it, enhancing the quality and depth of our connections. Professionally, the ability to stay calm and collected under pressure is invaluable. In the workplace, emotions can run high, but the capacity to maintain composure sets leaders apart. This isn't about suppressing emotions, but rather managing responses in a way that is considered and constructive. Decisions made in this state are typically more strategic and thoughtful, leading to better outcomes and demonstrating a level of leadership that is respected and often emulated. Furthermore, choosing actions over emotions leads to personal resilience and mental toughness. The Stoics believed that our greatest trials are opportunities for growth. By facing challenges with a calm and composed demeanor, we train ourselves to handle future stresses with greater ease. This resilience can dramatically improve our overall well-being, reducing feelings of anxiety and depression and increasing our life satisfaction. Essentially, we're not just reacting to life's challenges, we're actively shaping our journey through them. Another significant benefit is the development of self-awareness and self-regulation. These skills allow us to understand our emotional triggers and effectively manage them. This awareness then extends beyond ourselves, improving our empathy and understanding of others' emotions. With this enhanced perception, we can navigate social interactions more skillfully, adapting our responses to suit different situations and personalities. The practice of choosing actions over emotions equips us with tools not just to survive in our world, but to thrive. By embodying the principles of Stoicism, we don't just go through life. We grow through life, continually improving ourselves and positively impacting those around us. Habit 6. Overcoming challenges. Mastering your emotions and consistently choosing rational actions over impulsive reactions is no small feat. It's a profound challenge that requires dedication, patience, and resilience. In this journey, as Stoicism teaches us, we encounter numerous obstacles that test our resolve and our ability to apply philosophical principles to real-life situations. One of the first challenges many of us face is the intensity and immediacy of our emotional reactions. Emotions are powerful and can overwhelm even the most dedicated practitioners of Stoicism. They can surge quickly and unexpectedly, driven by deep-seated habits and instincts that have been reinforced over a lifetime. The key to overcoming this challenge isn't to suppress these emotions, but to acknowledge their presence without allowing them to dictate our actions. This requires a high level of self-awareness and the ability to pause and reflect in the heat of the moment, a skill that is cultivated through consistent practice and mindfulness. Another significant challenge is maintaining consistency in applying Stoic practices. It's one thing to remain calm and composed in a controlled environment, but it's entirely another to do so under stress in the face of adversity, or during an unexpected crisis. The Stoic practice of premeditatio malorum, which involves visualizing and mentally preparing for potential difficulties, can be incredibly helpful here. This exercise strengthens our mental resilience by familiarizing us with adversity before it occurs, reducing the shock and discomfort when challenging situations inevitably arise. Furthermore, there's the challenge of skepticism, both internal and external. Internally, you might doubt whether Stoic principles can truly make a difference in the face of real-world problems. Externally, peers or societal norms might question or undervalue the importance of emotional regulation, viewing it as unnecessary or overly philosophical. Overcoming this skepticism involves demonstrating the practical benefits of Stoic practices, not only through words but through actions. As we embody the calm, rational, and resilient traits promoted by Stoicism, the effectiveness of these practices becomes apparent. not only to ourselves but also to others. Lastly, integrating Stoic practices into daily life poses its own set of challenges. The modern world is fast-paced and often emphasizes quick reactions and emotional expressions. To counter this, setting aside time each day for reflection, such as journaling or meditative practices, can anchor us in Stoic principles. This daily commitment turns abstract concepts into tangible actions, gradually weaving Stoicism into the fabric of our everyday lives. Overcoming these challenges requires a robust commitment to self-improvement and a deep understanding of Stoic philosophy. It's about embracing the process, knowing that each obstacle is an opportunity to practice and strengthen our Stoic virtues. By steadfastly applying these principles, we not only overcome the challenges, but also grow stronger and more capable with each step forward. Habit 7. Real-life applications. Consider a typical scenario at work. You've put your heart into a project, but during the presentation, a colleague interrupts with criticism that seems unfair. The immediate impulse might be to defend your work aggressively, allowing irritation or anger to dictate your response. However, applying Stoic principles, you could take a moment to pause, acknowledging your initial emotional response without acting on it. Instead of snapping back, you might then choose to address the criticism calmly, asking for specific feedback that could improve the project. This approach not only preserves professional relationships, but also enhances your reputation as someone who is composed and receptive to feedback, even under stress. Now imagine a personal situation such as a conflict with a partner or family member. Emotions can quickly escalate in familial settings, turning minor misunderstandings into major conflicts. A Stoic approach would involve recognizing the emotional triggers as they arise and consciously choosing to respond with understanding rather than reactivity. This might mean taking time to listen actively to the other person's concerns without immediately reacting or trying to solve the problem. Such a response promotes dialogue and understanding, helping to resolve conflicts in a way that strengthens relationships rather than weakening them. In another aspect of personal development, consider the challenge of self-discipline, such as maintaining a fitness routine or a diet. It's easy to give in to momentary impulses, skipping a workout because you feel tired or indulging in an unhealthy snack. Stoicism teaches us to focus on our long-term goals and values rather than short-term comforts. By applying Stoic discipline, you can remind yourself of the reasons behind your choices, reinforcing your willpower to act in accordance with your greater good rather than momentary desires. Moreover, Stoicism can profoundly impact our overall resilience and mental health. In times of crisis or sorrow, such as during a financial setback or the loss of a loved one, the Stoic practice of focusing on what we can control, our responses, our values, our actions, becomes invaluable. While it's natural to feel grief or stress, Stoicism helps us navigate these emotions without letting them overwhelm us. To think, to enjoy, to love. For a creative, this privilege extends to the ability to imagine, to express, and to contribute something unique to the world. Gratitude grounds you in the present moment, helping you focus on the opportunities you have rather than the obstacles in your way. One of the most common barriers in the creative process is frustration, when ideas don't flow, when progress feels slow, or when results don't match your expectations. Gratitude allows you to shift your focus from what's lacking to what's abundant. Instead of fixating on the challenges, you can appreciate the tools, skills, and inspiration you already possess. For example, if you're struggling with a project, pause to acknowledge the privilege of having the time and resources to create. This perspective doesn't eliminate difficulties, but it makes them feel more manageable. Another way gratitude enhances creativity is by reducing the weight of comparison. In a world where it's easy to measure your work against others, gratitude helps you focus on your unique journey. Seneca advised, "It is not the man who has too little, but the man who craves more that is poor." Instead of envying another person's success, practice gratitude for your own progress and potential. Recognize that your creative path is yours alone, and that every step, no matter how small, is meaningful. Gratitude also fosters resilience in the face of setbacks. When rejection or failure strikes, it's natural to feel disheartened. But the Stoics teach us to reframe adversity as an opportunity for growth. Epictetus said, "He is a wise man who does not grieve for the things which he has not, but rejoices for those which he has." In creative terms, this means appreciating the lessons that challenges bring. A failed project might teach you new techniques or reveal an idea you hadn't considered. Gratitude helps you see these moments as stepping stones rather than roadblocks. Practicing gratitude doesn't have to be time-consuming. Start with simple daily reflections. At the end of each creative session, ask yourself, what went well today? What resources or opportunities am I grateful for? What skills have I developed through this process? Writing these reflections in a journal reinforces the habit of gratitude and helps you maintain a positive outlook. Another practice is to express gratitude for your creative process itself. The Stoics believed in honoring what is within your control, and your creative effort is entirely yours. Whether your work is praised, criticized, or ignored, the act of creating is an achievement in itself. Take a moment to thank yourself for showing up, for trying, and for continuing to grow. Gratitude can also be a source of inspiration. By focusing on what you're thankful for, you often uncover ideas and themes to explore in your work. For example, reflecting on meaningful relationships, memorable experiences, or even personal struggles can spark creative expression. These moments of gratitude connect you to your authentic voice, enriching your art with depth and sincerity. Lastly, share your gratitude with others. Whether it's thanking a mentor who guided you, acknowledging a peer who inspired you, or expressing appreciation to an audience who supports your work, gratitude strengthens connections and builds a supportive, creative community. The Stoics valued mutual respect and generosity, believing that gratitude fosters harmony and growth. Ask yourself, am I focusing on what I lack, or am I appreciating what I have? How can gratitude shift my perspective today? The creative process isn't just about producing work, it's about appreciating the journey. By cultivating gratitude, you find joy in the act of creating, resilience in the face of challenges, and inspiration in the everyday. As the Stoics teach, true wealth lies not in what you achieve, but in the gratitude you hold for the opportunities along the way. 10. Achieving creative freedom with the Stoic mindset. True creative freedom isn't about having endless time, resources, or opportunities. It's about liberating your mind from the barriers that hold you back. Fear of judgment, perfectionism, procrastination, and self-doubt can weigh heavily on your ability to create. A Stoic mindset, with its emphasis on self-mastery, detachment from external validation, and focus on the present, provides the tools to break free from these constraints and fully express your creative potential. The Stoics believed that freedom begins in the mind. Epictetus taught freedom is the only worthy goal in life. It is won by disregarding things that lie beyond our control. For creatives, this means letting go of the outcomes you can't dictate, whether your work will be praised, sold, or even understood, and focusing instead on the effort and intention you bring to the process. When you free yourself from the need for external approval, you unlock the joy of creating for its own sake. One of the greatest barriers to creative freedom is the fear of failure. The Stoics remind us that failure isn't something to be feared, but embraced. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." By reframing failure as a necessary part of growth, you allow yourself the freedom to experiment, take risks, and explore without the weight of perfectionism. Each misstep becomes a lesson, bringing you closer to mastery. Another key to creative freedom is detaching from comparisons. In today's hyper-connected world, it's easy to measure your work against others and feel inadequate. The Stoics advise focusing on your own path. Seneca said, "No man is more unhappy than he who never faces adversity, for he is not permitted to prove himself. Instead of looking outward, look inward." What unique perspective do you bring? What drives your creative vision? By grounding yourself in your values, you free yourself from the pressure to conform or compete. Time is another constraint that often stifles creativity. We tell ourselves, "I'll create when I have more time," only to find that the perfect moment never comes. The Stoics remind us that time is fleeting and should be used wisely. Marcus Aurelius urged, "Waste no more time arguing about what a good man should be. Be one." For creatives, this translates to prioritizing your craft, even in small, consistent increments. Instead of waiting for ideal conditions, use the time you have now to create, no matter how limited it may seem. Procrastination is another common hurdle to creative freedom. The Stoics emphasized action as a remedy for stagnation. Epictetus advised, "First say to yourself what you would be, and then do what you have to do." Start with small, achievable tasks that build momentum. Whether it's sketching an idea, drafting a paragraph, or experimenting with a melody, taking action, however imperfect, frees you from the paralysis of overthinking. Stoic principles also teach the importance of presence. Creativity thrives when you're fully engaged in the moment, unburdened by worries about the past or future. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Confine yourself to the present." When you focus entirely on the task at hand, you enter a state of flow where ideas come naturally and time seems to disappear. Practice mindfulness as you create. Feel the texture of the paintbrush, hear the rhythm of the words, or sense the movement of your hands on an instrument. Presence transforms the act of creating into an experience of freedom and joy. Lastly, true creative freedom comes from embracing the process over the product. The Stoics believed in finding fulfillment in the effort itself, regardless of the outcome. Marcus Aurelius observed, "The fruit of this life is a good character and acts for the common good." For creatives, the fruit of your work isn't just the finished piece. It's the growth, insight, and satisfaction you gain along the way by focusing on the process. You release yourself from the pressure to achieve a specific result and rediscover the pure pleasure of creating. Ask yourself, what mental barriers are limiting my creativity? How can I use Stoic principles to free myself from these constraints? Creative freedom isn't about eliminating challenges. It's about mastering your response to them. With a Stoic mindset, you can let go of fear, embrace imperfection, and create with confidence and authenticity. This is the path to unlocking your true creative genius. Creativity is one of the most profound expressions of the human spirit, but it often feels like a battle against doubt, fear, and external pressures. What we've uncovered today through the lens of Stoicism is that the real battle isn't with the outside world, it's within us. By adopting a Stoic mindset, we can overcome these internal barriers, embrace challenges, and unlock our full creative potential. Whether it's learning to let go of what you can't control, finding inspiration in moments of discomfort, or shifting your focus from perfection to progress, Stoic principles provide timeless tools for navigating the creative journey. Creativity isn't about achieving flawless results. It's about growth, resilience, and the courage to share your unique perspective with the world. As we wrap up, remember this: creativity thrives not in a state of ease, but in the willingness to explore, experiment, and endure. The Stoics remind us that every obstacle is an opportunity, and every challenge a chance to refine our craft and character. Stoicism teaches us to focus on our long-term goals and values rather than short-term comforts. By applying Stoic discipline, you can remind yourself of the reasons behind your choices, reinforcing your willpower to act in accordance with your greater good rather than momentary desires. Moreover, Stoicism can profoundly impact our overall resilience and mental health. In times of crisis or sorrow, such as during a financial setback or the loss of a loved one, the Stoic practice of focusing on what we can control, our responses, our values, our actions, becomes invaluable. While it's natural to feel grief or stress, Stoicism helps us navigate these emotions without letting them overwhelm us. It's about accepting the full picture of who you are. You might feel vulnerable at first, but this honesty brings freedom. It helps you stop pretending to be someone you're not and frees you from the emotional weight of denial. To practice this habit, start by creating time for self-reflection each day. Sit with your thoughts and ask yourself some challenging questions. Where am I holding myself back? What do I need to admit to myself in order to move forward? What do I need to change in my life to align with my true values? By making self-honesty a daily habit, you begin to peel away the layers of defensiveness and denial that have been clouding your vision. As you become more comfortable with the truth, you begin to see yourself and the world more clearly. You will be able to approach situations with more confidence because you are grounded in your own reality, not in an illusion. So start embracing your truth without shame. Let go of the need to hide, deny, or make excuses for who you are. By being honest with yourself, you unlock a deeper level of emotional strength and authenticity that empowers you to face any challenge with clarity and resilience. Carry a mirror for your life. At the end of the day, how often do you truly take a moment to reflect on your actions, reactions, and emotions? Many of us rush through our days, pushing forward without stopping to examine the experiences that shape us. But the key to emotional strength lies in the ability to reflect on our daily events and learn from them. This practice, known as self-reflection, is one of the most effective ways to cultivate emotional awareness and growth. The fourth habit for emotional strength is to spend time each day reflecting on your wins and mistakes. The Stoics believed that self-awareness was essential for living a virtuous and intentional life. Marcus Aurelius, in his Meditations, would often write about his actions and reactions to the events of his day, seeking to understand where he could improve. Reflection allows us to step outside of the hustle and bustle of daily life and observe ourselves with clarity and objectivity. Why is reflection so powerful? First, it helps us to become more aware of our emotional responses. We often react to situations without thinking, driven by impulses or habits. But when we take the time to pause and reflect, we gain insight into why we acted the way we did. Did we react with anger or fear? Did we approach challenges with calm and reason? Reflection helps us identify patterns in our behavior, allowing us to recognize areas for improvement and reinforce our strengths. Think about the last time you experienced a difficult or emotionally charged situation. How did you handle it? Did you respond thoughtfully or did you react impulsively? By taking a few minutes at the end of each day to reflect on moments like these, you can identify what worked and what didn't. This reflection isn't about self-criticism. It's about understanding ourselves better so that we can make more intentional, aligned choices in the future. For instance, if you had a disagreement with a colleague, instead of moving on with a sense of frustration, take a moment to reflect on the situation. Did you listen actively? Did you stay calm? Or did you let your emotions dictate your response? By reflecting on this interaction, you gain insight into how you can improve your communication and emotional response next time. This practice of reflection doesn't have to be long or complicated. In fact, it can be as simple as taking 5 minutes before bed to mentally review your day. Ask yourself, what did I do well today? What could I have done differently? How did I handle my emotions? And what can I learn from this experience? This quick exercise allows you to course correct before emotions spiral out of control and helps you approach tomorrow with more wisdom and control. The Stoics used reflection not only to learn from their mistakes, but also to celebrate their progress. Reflection isn't only about recognizing where we fall short, it's also about acknowledging our growth and resilience. By looking at our actions through the lens of reflection, we give ourselves the opportunity to appreciate how far we've come, even in small moments. So make self-reflection a regular habit. Spend just a few minutes each evening reflecting on your day. Use that time to learn from your experiences, celebrate your progress, and identify areas for growth. The more you practice this habit, the stronger your emotional awareness and resilience will become. It's through this simple yet powerful habit that you build the emotional clarity and wisdom needed to navigate life's challenges with strength and purpose. Remember what you already have. How often do you find yourself focused on what you don't have, what you want, or what's missing in your life? It's easy to fall into the trap of constantly striving for more, whether it's a promotion at work, a better relationship, or even just more time in the day. We live in a world that encourages us to always be reaching for the next goal, the next achievement, and the next level. But in the rush to achieve more, we often forget to appreciate what we already have. The fifth habit for building emotional strength is to practice daily gratitude, a habit that Stoicism values deeply. Gratitude isn't just about feeling thankful for the good things that happen to us. It's about acknowledging and appreciating the simple things in life that we often take for granted. This practice can shift our mindset from scarcity to abundance, and it's one of the most powerful ways to build emotional resilience. Gratitude grounds us in the present moment. When we focus on what we have instead of what we lack, we shift our perspective. We start to see how much we've already accomplished, how many blessings we already possess, and how fortunate we are to have what we have. This shift in mindset doesn't only improve our emotional well-being, it also helps us appreciate the journey rather than just the destination. The Stoics, such as Seneca, believed in the power of gratitude as a cornerstone of emotional strength. Seneca famously wrote, "A good character is not formed in a week or a month. It is created little by little, day by day." Gratitude plays a role in this daily process. It's not about waiting for big events to be thankful for. It's about appreciating the everyday moments, the things that often go unnoticed. Gratitude allows us to cultivate a sense of peace regardless of the circumstances by reminding us of all the things that are already good in our lives. Start by taking just a few minutes every day to reflect on the things you are grateful for. Whether it's the people in your life, the opportunities you've had, or the things you've learned. Or even the small moments of joy, a delicious cup of coffee, a beautiful sunset, a good conversation. Take a moment to write them down or simply acknowledge them in your mind. This simple practice can have a profound impact on your emotional strength and outlook on life. But gratitude isn't just a passive feeling, it's an active choice. You can choose to focus on the things that make you feel content and thankful, even when things aren't perfect. You can choose to see the positive aspects of your life, even in the face of challenges or setbacks. When we practice gratitude, we train our minds to focus on the abundance in our lives rather than the absence. And this shift in focus builds a resilient emotional foundation that helps us face adversity with a clear, calm mind. Gratitude also deepens our connection to others. When we express gratitude, whether to a friend, a family member, or a colleague, we strengthen our relationships and create an environment of positivity and support. It's a habit that not only strengthens our own emotional well-being, but also spreads that strength to the people around us. So tomorrow morning, start the day by listing 3 things you're grateful for. And when challenges arise, remind yourself of the things that are already going well. Gratitude is a daily practice that will reframe your mindset, foster emotional strength, and help you stay grounded in the present, no matter what comes your way. We all experience loss, whether it's the loss of a job, a relationship, a dream, or even a sense of certainty about the future. Loss can come in many forms, and it often brings with it a mix of emotions: sadness, anger, disappointment, and fear. In the face of loss, it's easy to feel overwhelmed, like the rug has been pulled out from under you. But here's the truth: loss is not the end, it's a part of life, and learning to let go is one of the most powerful ways to build emotional resilience. The sixth habit for emotional strength is learning the art of letting go, embracing loss as a natural part of life, not as something that defines or breaks you.